I can't do this 9 to 5 shit, man. I really can't. I don't know how people do this. Like, it is absolutely insane to me because let's put religion aside, whatever you believe aside for a second. You mean to tell me that you have this one single life? As far as we know, you've got this one single human life, this one life that we cannot repeat, even if there's another one. This one life. And you mean to tell me you want to waste it working for someone else? I just don't get it. I just don't understand how you wake up and do the same thing every single day, things that you don't want to be doing, getting paid, getting underappreciated, and getting paid a fraction of what you truly deserve to be getting paid. No matter how much money a job ever tries to pay you, they would never be able to match the actual amount that you're worth because your time is invaluable. I heard a quote the other day. A millionaire asked someone in the audience, how much does it cost you to not make $1 million a year? Everybody just gave random numbers, and he said it costs you $1 million a year. And he said because that's your time, how much your time is worth, and your time is worth 100 times more than that. And it's insane to me, man, how people can just do this and just chalk it up to like, oh, this is just how it is. Like they just accept it. They just say, oh, well, this is how my parents were raised and my great grandparents were raised. And this is just the way it's supposed to be, especially in this day and age where it's more possible than ever. You know, back in the day, I could understand, right? I could understand in the early 1970s, 80s, whatever, when the internet wasn't around. I can understand how you could sit there and point fingers and say, you know what, that person got lucky, or that person was born into a rich family, and whatever the case may be, trust fund baby, lottery, whatever. But in today's day and age, when there are hundreds of millionaires, this is a real statistic, you can look it up. There are hundreds of millionaires being made every single day in the U.S. alone. And there are, even though some of them might be faking, there are teenagers, 16, 17-year-old kids who are making $10,000 plus a month online. There was a quote, and a lot of the time I don't like to quote Andrew Tate because I know he be saying some crazy off-the-wall shit from time to time, but there was one quote he said that I used to ignore because I had a different mindset back then, and I just thought it was bullshit, and I thought the same thing everybody else thought, which was, oh, you know, you got to get lucky, or making that kind of money isn't possible. Before I changed my mindset, I heard him say something like, how can you be content or okay with the fact that there are things out there that you could work your entire life for and never be able to buy? And this is not about the material stuff. This is just an example I'm using, but he just used the example of like a Bugatti or something. He was like a Bugatti. Let's just say you found a cheaper one that only cost $1 million. If you worked for 10 years straight and you were making $100,000 a year, think about that, $100,000 a year, and you didn't spend a penny of it, you would have to work a decade from 20 to 30 to own a single car. And yet there are people who have garages full of them. And we are way past the point of, oh, it's just luck now. You can't say that. There's an entrepreneur that said it a while back, and I completely agree with him. He said, if you were born broke, that's your fault. You can't control that. You can't control what circumstances you were born into. But if you die broke, it's 100% your fault. And I can see that now. I can truly see that now. Underpaid, underappreciated. And there's always something. You know, the craziest part about it, and let me know if y'all can relate to this. I know this is a rambling video, but it's most of the time, it's not even the actual job duties that you're doing for real. It's just something at the job or the job in and of itself. I told this story in the previous video. I'm not going to say the whole thing again, but no matter what job you do, if you're not cut out or designed to be working a 9 to 5, there will never be, and this might sound messed up and I'm sorry in advance, but there will never be a resting period for you. There would never be, because I would always move the goalpost thinking, okay, if I can just get closer, I'll never complain again if I can just live closer to my job, because sometimes I worked at a job that I had to be there at 1:30 in the morning when I was working in an Amazon warehouse, which means I'd have to wake up at 11:30 because it was an hour and a half drive away. And I said, if I could just get a job closer, I would never complain. Then I got a job closer that was only 5 minutes away from me. And guess what? I was still just as miserable as I was when I worked at Amazon. Then I told myself, okay, if I get a job working from home, I'll never complain again. Like, this will be hopefully the motivation I need to just suck it up and deal with this shit, I guess. Like, maybe my spirit, because that's what it is. It's your spirit, soul, your body, whatever it is you believe in. It's that is communicating to you and letting you know that something is wrong. I said it in my previous video, I'll say it again. It's like whenever you get sick and your body you start feeling pain. Let's just say something's going on in your neck or your chest. If your body's going to give you signals and let you know that something is wrong, and it might feel irritating or annoying, but that's your body's way of saying, go get checked out. And it's the same thing. It's your body, your soul telling you that whatever it is you're doing is wrong. It's not meant for you. It's not what you're supposed to be doing. And I got the work from home job. Same shit. Same thing. I was 2 steps away from my PC, which was right beside this PC. And I was just taking customer service calls, and I was still miserable. I was the same exact emotions that I felt, the same exact depressed way or feeling that I had when I was an hour and a half away. And now, how is that? I'm in the comfort of my own home. I got my dog that I'm only an arm's reach away from, my bathroom. I got my food. I'm making, like, at that time, $24 an hour. I'm chilling. But I felt the same. It made no difference to me. Man, look, the point is, there's always something. And can y'all relate to this? I know I got sidetracked, but I don't like really telling my friends or my family this, because of course, when you're going through things like this and it feels like only you can relate or certain people can relate to you, it just seems as if you're the odd one out. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to like make it sound like some kind of hero syndrome or something crazy, like some lone wolf syndrome, but you're truly ostracized away from everybody because, you know, from their perspective, I can't blame my parents, or I can't blame my friends, or can't blame other people, right? From their perspective, saying, look at this dude, you know, like quitting one job, stays at one job for a week, stays another job for 2 weeks, 3 months, quits a job after a year, gets fired. It's like the misfit, I guess you could say. So I could see from their perspective looking in how that looks messed up. But man, do y'all know what I'm talking about when I say there's always something? Like I said, I don't tell my parents or really my friends anymore what's going on at these jobs, because to them it'll just sound like, oh, here we go again. Here we go again. I like to use the analogy, if somebody were to come up to you after their 10th failed relationship and look you dead in the eyes and say, man, that girl or that guy was just messed up. Like, I don't know what their problem was. Like, to them, on the inside looking out, all 10 of those people were messed up. But clearly, nobody on this planet would believe that once they were told that story, that it was the 10 women or men that person was dealing with that was wrong. The most common denominator was you, or was that person in question. So that means it's them that's something wrong with, not the other 10, right? In the same way. But man, it's like, just to name a couple, worked at Frito-Lay before. Crazy shit went down there. Disrespectful managers and stuff like that. I mean, just like it's as if, and this might sound crazy, but it's as if it's God's way, the universe's way of letting you know, yeah, this is going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to force this to be uncomfortable for you because you need to get up and make a damn change so you never have to experience this again. And this is not meant for you. It's like it could be the simplest job and it'll just be the most fucked up situation or the most fucked up person that you encounter. It'll always be something. It can never just be just the job itself. It can never just be just the commute, just the drive, just the actual job duties itself. It's always something else on top of that. Frito-Lay, it was management. It was receivers. Like, I would go into stores as a merchandiser. All I'd have to do is just grab a cart that had bags in them, which had the bags of chips in them, or boxes would have bags of chips in them, and just roll it out to the aisle, fill the aisles, make it look good, take the cart back, leave. There were shitty receivers, like just people in the back. The only thing they did was just make sure they had enough inventory for the next day. I had a woman who, I'm not going to drop her name, but I had a woman who just admitted, she said out loud, and I say, pardon my French, but I've been cussing this whole damn time. I think, look, she said, I know I'm a bitch. She looked dead at me and said, I know I'm a bitch. She was like, yep. She said, yep, everybody calls me a bitch. Yep, and that's okay, because I lived a bitch, I'm going to die a bitch. And you know what? That's how I am, and this is how I talk, and this is how I talk to people, and I don't give a shit. She knew that. There were people at another store, this other guy, he acted as if the aisles were more military work. Like if one bag of chips had a little crinkle in it, and y'all think I'm over exaggerating, if one little bag of chips had a crinkle in it, because you're supposed to go and face the aisle, which is just make sure all the chips look good. If one little chip like bag had like a little dent in it, he'd come up to you and say, the hands, man, the hands, you got to use your hands, man. Like, you got to make sure it's all good. Like, this is not going to fit for the customer. Like, bro, it's always something. And I would get so frustrated and look up and I said, God, why? Why can't I just go to a job and it just be fucking normal? Just, I don't know, just nothing bad happening on top of just the job. The job in and of itself is stressful enough. Just the fact that I'm working one is stressful enough. Now I got to deal with this shit too. What else? When I worked at FedEx, you know, people who look, shout out to all my FedEx drivers out there, my USPS, my UPS, my delivery drivers, man. Y'all make the world go around. I was at FedEx ground driver delivering benches and safes and couches and all this other crazy shit. 50-pound weight limit my ass. Delivering all this stuff throughout the day. Customers, just unreasonable, just crazy ass customers, man. Like, you would have somebody that lives on the 8th floor of an apartment complex, and they would dead ass expect you to carry a bank safe up to the 8th floor. And I'm talking a legitimate bank safe, a vault safe, something that's easily over 400 to 500 pounds minimum. This shit is wrapped up in like 7 boxes and needed a dolly just to be put on the truck with the help of like 7 people. And I'm by myself. And if I left it at the bottom of the steps, they have the audacity to say they could have rolled it up here or something. Man, excuse me. I'm telling you, this job I'm working now, just the people. Sometimes it's not even the job. It's just the people that work there. Like, I used the examples before. Like, sometimes the jobs be shit. Like, I worked in the Amazon warehouse before, and I was like putting packages in the truck for drivers, or like putting them in specific spots for the drivers to come get them on the carts. And it was a shit job because, you know, you just in a little cubicle all day. Or I worked at my first job ever. I worked at Safeway. And what that is a grocery store chain. And, you know, I was a courtesy clerk, is what you called it. The very first thing I ever did, 16 years old, pushing carts. I pushed carts. You're supposed to do everything. I'm supposed to push carts, clean the bathrooms, mop the floors, clean up spills, pretty much just anything that other higher up people don't do. And I would always be outside pushing carts. Because I didn't want to talk to people. And and nobody else wanted to do it. The cart gondolas, or whatever you call it, was always full. I know I'm ranting, but the cart gondolas were always full. Nobody wanted to push them damn things. And, it didn't have those fancy machines you connected the carts to, like Giant or other, like, places have. You were pushing them bitches 20, 30 carts by yourself at a time to push them back to the spot. And I would do that every day because I was just like, nobody else wants to do it. I'm pretty strong. I can handle this shit. I got my earphones. I want to be left alone. Y'all, I shit you not. It was a random ass day in February. Huge ass tornado warning comes down. Not a watch, a tornado warning. You hear the siren going off in the town. I'm sitting here outside. I'm still pushing carts. Everybody else is inside behind their cash register or just quiet. The lights are flickering on the inside. Windy as hell outside, raining. I don't even have a coat. I've just got the standard uniform on. I go outside to push carts. I've got my headphones in. Earphones in. I'm pushing the carts. Wind is blowing carts everywhere. There's like 2 cars in the parking lot. An hour goes by. I get called up to the front desk. I'm like, yes. They say, oh, yeah, just be careful, man. I don't know. You can't have your headphones in. I'm like, why? Or you can't have your earphones. I'm like, why? He said a customer was complaining because when they were handing you their cart out there in the middle of a fucking tornado watch when it's pouring down rain and the wind is like 50 miles an hour, a customer was handing you their cart and they were trying to have a conversation with you, but you just grabbed their cart and waved at them and walked away. He knew how dumb he sounded because he was smiling and he just put his head down and shook his head. And he was like one of them managers where he just had to enforce stuff because he was told by the other higher ups what to tell me. So he shook his head and I just said, isn't that the dumbest shit? And he just said, I'm sorry, man. It's just, and I told him I get it. Like I wasn't mad at him or nothing, but a fucking tornado watch. Motherfucker, you are probably 10 seconds away from dying. I didn't give a shit because I'm pushing carts. So it's like, fuck it. If I get blown away with this cart in my hand, so, look, I'm at work. Shit, I don't want to die on the job, but fuck it. Like, I'm outside. I don't even give a shit. So sometimes, I said all that just to say, sometimes, man, it's just the people. It's not even the job itself. You could have the simple, smoothest, easy job. But it's just the people you got to interact with. Shitty ass coworkers, shitty ass people, humans, just shitty. Man, at my current job now that I work at, it's the coworkers. Like, bro, there was this, and I found out El Diablo. El Diablo means the devil or some shit. This guy was running around chasing this dude with a screwdriver, calling him a punta or some shit. I think that means bitch in Spanish. Motherfucker, there was this guy holding his stomach, and there was blood where he was holding his stomach. Another dude had a screwdriver screaming El Punta or some shit, and the guy running away from him was saying El Diablo, El Diablo. They shut down that part. We still were working. After lunch, 30-minute lunch break, I came back. That spot over there where that shit was happening at, it was just the lights were turned off. I guess they sent that particular crew home or something, but we were still working. The people in my group, I'm at a job that I'm supposed to be getting trained. Well, I can say the job because it's not like I'm gonna say the company, but it's an electrician apprentice, right? It's crazy because they're like supposed to be training you and actually showing you what to do. But I'm not under a journeyman or foreman or master electrician. I'm just hanging around a whole bunch of other apprentices who don't know what the fuck they're doing also, but they have a little bit more experience than me because they've been there a couple more months. And they're supposed to be training me, but most of them are younger than me and have their headphones in, and a lot of them don't care enough to train, which I don't blame them. Like, I don't put that on them. Because, they just want to do their own thing, and they're not getting paid to train, so why would they give a shit about me? Like, I don't blame them. But I'm sitting there at work clueless, having no idea what the hell's going on. And I even told the manager straight up, I said, don't expect me to come in a month from now and know what the hell I'm doing and be a vital part of the team if you're not around to even show anything. And he was just like, oh, no, you'll get it. It just takes time. And like, oh, no, trust me. And I say, no, I don't think you get it. That's not how it works. Like, I need hand-by-hand instruction. But there are even people at this job that are straight up assholes. People who think that they run the place. People who come up to you and say the craziest shit. Come up to you and be like, Well, hey, if the manager's not going to be here, I'm going to be taking charge of the helm then. Because it looks like, if the other coworkers would tell me that this guy would always say things like, and they make fun of him for it because he says it so often. He'll say things like, realistically speaking, like that's his go-to quote, realistically, this should have been done 2 days ago. If I hadn't called out, this would have been done. Or, if we had a team full of me, that dude is so self-conceited, so self-absorbed. He'll say some shit like, if there was a whole team of me instead of everyone else like y'all here, we would have been done a year ago. We'd be knocking these projects out left, right, front, and center. Bro, I know y'all, this is a 20-minute video. This would be like a 5-minute video just talking about fucking 9-to-5 job. I went on a rant, but this shit, bro, I just genuinely don't get how people do it. I just don't. I don't get how you could just simply sit here and accept this kind of shit. And then on top of that, Lord have mercy, I'm 28, and I'm not going to be at this job soon. I'm telling you straight up. Like, another little side quest on this video, too, is since I said earlier, and I stand by that, and I actually have proof of that, because I've been doing it myself, making money online is as easy as it's ever been. Like, you don't need, all I'm going to say is this, because I'm going to make a whole new video on this alone, but you don't need to be overly qualified or at the top of your game or at the top of your field to teach people stuff. I used to have this big limiting belief that I needed to be certified before I taught people, such as, how you would want a teacher to be certified with a degree to teach like children and shit. It's just like, for example, experience is what matters in the real world, right? Like if you go to a doctor to have surgery or some shit, of course, schooling is going to play an important part, but you would know, if you were even to look at his credentials, what you would want to see, how many successful surgeries he's had. You don't give a shit about, he graduated from Yale. Like, you don't give a shit about that. You give a shit about, okay, he learned his school, he went through all that shit, that's cool. Can he actually do his job? Is he efficient at it? Does he have a track record of clients that are alive? Like, so you don't need to be at the top to teach people, and people will pay you money to learn from you. Like, that's a limiting belief. Don't ever think that you need to be at 1 million subs, for example, to start selling a course on how to create content, or you need to be X amount of followers. Like, no, if you have a better mindset than some people, which you might, because you've been working on your mindset for years, that's teachable. People spend billions a year on self-help. Like, that's huge. And like, so and there are so many categories. I could get into it, heavy, but that'll be for another video. But like I said, I'm not going to be at these jobs long, bro. But yeah, I just want to make this video. This is a newer channel, so I don't know if this is going to reach people or not. But if anyone can relate, let me know in the comments, because I just don't understand how you could spend, like, in when I say this is only going to be for a certain amount of people. So I hope this don't offend nobody. I really don't give a shit if it do, but like, I can't imagine having right now, this moment, wife and children. I just can't. Like I said, this is very specific, but I'm working on myself and figuring my shit out right now. And this is my fault. Like, I could have figured this shit out years ago. If I had locked in, I could have figured this shit out years ago and been way better off than I am now. I was just fucking around. But I can't genuinely imagine sitting here dealing with the stress of a 9-to-5 job and just doing shit I don't want to do and barely having, because, it takes all your energy, whether you're at a desk job, a physical job, your energy is gone, like you're shot for the day. And then coming home and having the additional responsibility of taking care of another whole ass human being, or multiple human beings, like my wife and children, or multiple children. Like, that's insane. And working on your 5 to 9. So, you work your 9 to 5, and then you get off of work, then you have to go work on your 5 to 9, which is your side hustle, your business, whatever it is you're growing on the side, on top of, and people, bro, parents are superheroes. I salute all of y'all. Bro. Parents are superheroes. Like, I know I might have kids one day, but Christ Almighty, this shit, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Now, right now, no way, man. No. I don't know, y'all. There's so much more to life. This one life, I'm going to end this video because now I'm rambling, but this one life we've got, this one singular life that we have, it's okay for you to just waste this shit away. It's okay to just say, oh, I'm just going to spend 30, 40, 50, 60 years. In my generation, I don't even know what generation I'm in. I don't know. I was born in 96. I don't know. I think I'm like I don't know. I can't even remember all of them. Zoomer? No. What the fuck is that? I don't know. Gen. I don't know. X, Z, Y, A, B. I don't know. 1, 2, 3. But realistically, my retirement age, if I were to work a 9 to 5 until the day I died, which I'd rather die than do that, but would be like 70 or something, 75. I think the people in the generation after me, I think it's I don't know, zero, some shit. Bro, they're going to be working until they're dead. Realistically, they would be working until they drop fucking dead. Who the hell thinks it's a good idea to work until 70 and then get to enjoy your freedom for the last 20, 30 years of your life? Have a fucking stroke the next day after you retire. The fuck is that? I want to enjoy life now. Like, I don't want to be waking up at it's like, you can't do anything when you work a 9 to 5. Like, you cannot do anything. And y'all, let me be clear. What happens to sand when you warm it up past 4,000 degrees? Let me be clear. I say this as someone who's extremely introverted. Someone who does not leave the house. Someone who, if I went shopping for an entire month straight, 2 months straight, and had enough groceries for that long, I wouldn't have to see sunlight for 2 months straight. And I don't mean that as a flex, because I know that's extremely unhealthy and not a good thing. But I'm just saying it how it is. Like, I sleep, eat, work out, game, repeat, right? Make videos like this, repeat. And even just chilling at home, I make sure to go grocery shopping the week or the weekend before, so I don't have to. I can just go straight home after work. I'm not taking no detours. I get gas at the beginning of the week. Make sure I can go straight home, and that's all. That's the only place I go. Right. Even with that, you have no fucking time to do anything. Like, your whole life is revolving around work. Even when you're off of work, you're thinking about work. That shit just sucks. Like, I've been on a 2-week vacation. I started my 2-week vacation on Christmas week. And I have to go back on Monday. And the whole time I'm thinking, every single second that goes by, I'm getting closer to having to go back. What a shitty way to think. And that's on me. I'm not saying it's anyone else's or that's not a normal mindset, I understand, but every single second that goes by, I'm going back. I'll leave y'all with an analogy, then I'm gonna roll, because this video will turn into an hour if I keep going. The best way that I can describe a 9 to 5 job, it's like a dog that has a leash around its neck. And as you're walking the dog, right? Or let's just say this is the traditional week of a 9 to 5, right? So you're walking your dog on your leash, and you have the dog on a tight leash, like you're holding the leash like super close to the collar while he's beside you and beside your leg. So the dog knows that he can only go as far as you let him, right? And as the weekend gets closer, you let off of the leash a little bit, so the dog is able to have a little bit more free roam, right? Eventually, when Friday evening gets there, You have let go of the leash so much, but you still got a hold on it, but you've let go of it so much that the dog genuinely thinks he's free, or it feels like that. Like the dog looks back, he sees that his owner is over a mile away and gets extremely excited because now he thinks, oh, I can run. I'm free. Like I've got all of this roam space. Like I'm good. Like my owner, I can still see him in the distance, but if I wanted to, I could leave his ass in the dust. Like I'm free. But of course, the same cycle that everybody goes through, that a lot of people go through, that we shouldn't go through, is when Saturday rolls around, and then eventually Sunday rolls around, Sunday morning, Sunday evening, and then before you know it, you're laying down again, wishing you didn't wake up on Monday morning. It gets dark. Waking up, wishing that you didn't wake up at all on Monday morning. As the weekend progresses, you start slowly tightening your grip back up on that leash, and you start yanking and dragging the dog back. And no matter how hard the dog tries to fight with all his might to get away from the leash, he can't. And he's noticing that as he's trying, he's noticing that he's covering less distance and that he's only able to run around a certain amount until eventually he's getting dragged back. And eventually the dog is right back at the owner's leg. And he realizes that entire time he was never free. He was only as free as his owner allowed him to be. I've seen a lot of people say it, and I stand by it. Work has always been, especially in this day and age, modern day slavery. I just don't see it. I don't see how people do this shit and just chalk it up to, oh, this is just life. This is what's supposed to happen. This is, if you don't do this, you're bound to die. I'd rather die. I would rather die. If someone told me there was no other way out, you either work a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life, or going ahead and hop off the Golden State Bridge. Motherfucker, you'll see me with golden wings for approximately 5 minutes after you told me that shit. Nah, man. It just sucks. And like I said, I'll be out of there extremely soon, like really fast. And I'm blessed and grateful to be able to be making the money I'm making now, and finally learning this digital marketing game and putting people on and showing people stuff and making this money. I'm very happy to be in the position that I am now to be able to do this. And I'll be leaving this 9 to 5 within under 6 months, more than likely, probably less than that. But man, it's just a never-ending cycle. And even the people at my job, even the people there, like, they all say the same shit. You would think that being an electrician apprentice, right? You would think that the majority of those people there, at least in my situation, are doing that and thugging it out because they actually want to become an electrician. Every single person, at least in my group that I've talked to, don't give a shit about actually becoming an electrician. Every single one of them have other things that they're trying to do, but the reason they got that job is because, they passed the test like I did somehow, and they needed the money, of course, and using the job as a stepping stone. Like I said, all of them are younger than me. Like one guy talking about getting a CDL license and driving across the country because he likes driving. Another guy talks about, he said he wants to be a content creator. Another guy says that he wants to be an artist. Oh, so much stuff, so much potential. And that's crazy, especially in the trades, because people, even in the trades have a high turnover rate now, and I'm starting to see why. Like all of these things are always be in demand, like electrician and mechanic and all these things. Like these are always be in demand, but I can see why people be quitting left and right in these companies now, even in promising positions that back in the day you would kill to have an opportunity for. Jobs that I've gotten before that I would say I'd never let go of this when I got it, even if I don't like it. I can see why once I get in, that whole mindset shifts. And I get into that cycle again of trying to negotiate with myself, especially on days like this when I know I'm only 2 days away from going back again. I'm like, man, if I could just find another work from home job, I'll be fine. If I could just find another job that's closer to me, I'll be fine. But I know, just as like your body, your soul knows that won't change anything. And I'll end it off on something even worse for y'all. Because just want to, even worse, it won't change. It won't. It won't. That voice will get louder. Holy shit. I sound like some motherfucker that's talking to you out of a scary movie. The voices are getting louder. Run. There are bugs in your skin. No, but it's just like on some real shit. Like when your body tries to give you signs that something's wrong and if you keep on ignoring it, even if the symptoms do go away, which they rarely do, but even if they do, it's just going to get dramatically worse to the point where it might become terminal. And the same way, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, that means you have a calling on your life that you cannot deny. You have a destiny ahead of you that you cannot escape. And you believe no matter what you do. I was watching another video to a guy talking about 9 to 5, talking about he tried to take antidepressants. And you know what's sad? I would never take antidepressants or take any kind of medicine except for Claritin in the summertime because I got really bad fucking asthma and pollen issues. But when he said that, I was like, man, antidepressants. That sounds like that could work. And then I thought to myself, what the fuck am I thinking? That wouldn't do jack shit. Because when he said he did that shit, it made it worse. Had the opposite effect. Like for me, caffeine will make me sleepy. Now I'm just saying, I'm just going on a rant now. But listen, look. You know you have a calling. You know that you have a mission. Not even trying to sound like you some chosen one type on shit, but you are. You are. Try to deny it all you want. Try to shut the noise out. Try to take antidepressants. Try to quiet yourself down. Try to quiet your soul down, your spirit, your body, your mind down. It won't work. The voices will get louder. And the symptoms will get worse and more apparent until you fulfill your purpose. So, for all my hustlers out there, for all my grinders out there, stay locked in. Keep on pushing. And we're going to make it out this shit. If y'all are interested, if you're starting from the ground up, you have no idea how to run social media, you have no idea how to get your page up and running, you're brand new to this whole internet marketing, making money, digital, you're whole new to ChatGPT, social media and all that stuff, let me know down in the comments below. In a little bit, I'm going to be releasing a course and showing people how to start from the ground up, no social media, and just showing people how to make money online. Because like I said, this is changing my life in more ways than I could ever imagine. And there's plenty of things I have to offer, I can offer to people. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. And let's get the hell up on out of this shit. Because this shit is for the birds. Well, I tried to hit the end button and it didn't work, so I'm going to try it again.